And let me share a screen with you guys. Mm. Okay, so welcome everybody to one of the most important trainings of the entire year. Okay, it's going to be our planning around the holidays workshop. As we all know, the holidays is right around the corner. Okay, and I've been talking about this from like the beginning of December, how I need everybody in here because it's so important that you guys make progress and maintain your progress. Okay, and we all know during the holidays, it is one of the more challenging seasons. Now, I made this workshop. So I made this workshop talking about the 10 mistakes I've made so you don't have to make the same ones. Okay. Once again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know, but we're going to continue forward here. So the reason why you're here, as I just mentioned, is because I want to ensure, and you yourself, you want to ensure, especially you inside my program, you want to ensure you aren't starting several steps back, especially during the new year. We can all agree, and this probably happened to everybody in this call already. You might have been in momentum before, you might have been like having good progress, but then it's this time, it's this season that sets you back. Guys, let me know in the comment down below. So say yes if this is you. Say yes in the comment section if this happens to you. You're making pretty good progress, or you feel like momentum is good, and it's a holiday seasons that always sets you back. I want to hear from you guys. I actually want to know. Say yes down below if this is you. And when I mean setting back, it doesn't only mean physically. Maybe it's mentally. Maybe you feel like, you know what, I just feel lazier. I feel more demotivated. Maybe everything is going well for progress, but you just feel, during the holiday seasons, there's more distractions, there's more temptations. And you just feel like, I'm kind of losing that momentum, right? So let's see, like Jan says, he has Ashley, Maria, right? Cass, Lauren. Okay, this is perfect for you, okay? Because in this training, I'm not just going to go over tactical strategies with how to actually, save calories and so forth, but also like the mindset part of things. 90% of people have their progress derailed during this time, but not you guys. And I'm going to ensure after today's training, you guys have a lot more tools in your toolbox. Okay, you guys are going to be much more equipped to actually go through the holidays. The reason for this is because majority of people are, number one, they're not educated on the topic of nutrition. Like, you may know some things about nutrition and you should being in my program, but there's definitely so much more you can learn. And having this, right, and not having the education, it can lead to poor decisions, not just before, during, but even afterwards as well. How many times have we heard of stories where, it's after the holidays where, once again, like I mentioned just earlier, we feel demotivated, we don't feel like we have the same momentum as before, and this is all based on our decisions during this holiday season. And which makes sense as to why 95% of new year resolutions are fitness related. Okay. So let's see. I've already fallen a bit off track. So Michelle, we're gonna have a chat afterwards, but this is gonna be perfect for you as well. Um, and this is to not only give you guys like that motivation and inspiration, it's to actually go because I'm into like the spiritual side of things, and the woo-woo stuff is actually what I do like. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately about like the tactical strategy that moves the needle, right? Motivation and stuff is like the woo-woo stuff. And I think that is good, right? And I'm really big into like, the spiritual side, as you guys know me. But at the end of the day, like just understanding about calories, understanding about like all these strategies I'm going to teach you is what really moves the needle. Okay. But we're going to cover both grounds. And once again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Tay says, I feel like summer is where I drop off for food maintenance. The holidays, I lack as much activity, but I try to watch my food better. That's good to hear. That's awesome. So hopefully from this training, it motivates you to increase activity levels. Okay, but let's get into it, ladies. So my mistakes. This is me just a year and a half ago. Okay, so I'm in one of the best shapes of my life right now, and I've been able to maintain it. And you guys see me when I went through prep and I went through like the struggles of prep. But even right now, like I've been able to maintain my conditioning. And I think one of the things I'm most proud about, everyone, is how not just like the competition, but after the competition, because it's so common to do a fitness competition and then like reroute back to you know, the old norms, like the regular conditioning, but not me. Like I've been able to really find like a system where I'm so busy as an entrepreneur, but I'm still maintaining my conditioning. And I'm sure you guys see my posts. Like I'm really just keeping 5 pounds away from my stage weight. And I'm going to share everything that I've made mistakes on because I definitely was not in this condition before. You can see on the left side. And a lot of these mistakes I've made, and I want to make sure you guys don't make it. You guys really get those many steps ahead. Okay. So you guys can really crush your fitness goals. Number one, let's talk about the mindset side of things. Who here believes, like I'm already hearing some comments here, right? There's some individuals that are feeling like, okay, I'm already kind of slipping. Right? Let me know if that's you in the comment section. So I know there's a couple of people that are like, shit, I'm already kind of slipping a little bit. I'm losing some motivation. And I appreciate you being vulnerable and you opening up, right? But you can let me know down below. Is this you? Do you already feel like, mentally you're not feeling that confident? Let me know in the comment section. Do you feel like you're not so confident during the holidays? You feel like this is gonna happen because it happened before and it's like the constant cycle? Because I know majority of people do have this, right? That's why this is the first mistake, and we're gonna touch base on this, right? I'm no different. Let me tell you guys, like during the holidays, like I'm back in Vancouver visiting family. Like I'm essentially took a plane I'm taking a plane to Vancouver, and coming to Vancouver is great because I see family and friends, but it's also high risk in terms of my fitness and nutrition and health, right? Like I'm literally boarding a plane, having a bunch of calories waiting for me essentially, right? But I'm going to make sure I'm going to stay on top of things, and everything I do is what I'm going to share with you guys as well. Now, I know there's some people telling me over here, there's same thing like Lauren, I'm not that confident, especially being sick. And really quick, there's always going to be adversity. It's definitely tough. I know, Heidi, that, getting sick and getting injured, it definitely is a struggle for sure. It's more of a struggle, but I can guarantee you when you start doing the same actions as before and just focusing on the good habits, right? And taking baby steps, you will get back to it for sure. I have no doubt. Okay. We can be our best friend, but we could be our biggest critic as well. Right. So, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't look at like 20 steps ahead. Sometimes this climb, just a reminder for everybody, like this climb in your fitness journey, right? Expand the time horizon. It's going to be a long journey, right? But a lot of times when we're looking towards the ultimate goal, we're seeing the mountain. There's going to be times where a low gust of wind is going to push you back. Maybe you tripped on the rock and you roll back a little bit. But that's the story, and that's the beauty of your story. Your fitness journey is supposed to be adversity. It's going to be setbacks. So don't give up. The worst thing is giving up. There's always going to be adversity. Just always, getting back to it, getting back to it. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be better. Okay. But anyway, so let's get into this first mistake. Believing the holidays is when you're going to slip. Same thing with me. Like before, I would think, okay, like I would have the mindset, okay, let's make sure we don't put on that much weight. Like I would think like that. Now it's different. Like I know I'm not going to put on weight. As a matter of fact, I can even try to continue progressing during the holidays, and I truly mean that when I say it. Now, there's two things that leads to people failing, and I'm going to talk about it, right? Because it's we don't want to avoid what we're fearful of, right? Number one is lack of education. You guys are all here because you want to learn, right? What you get from me is not just like, my knowledge in terms of what I actually got certificates in, but you guys want to hear my actual experience, right? Like, what did I mess up on? What did I make mistakes on? Right. And I want to pass it down to you. So, first is lack of education. Number two is that internal belief. And this is something that is also like a muscle. Let me let some people in here. So, your belief in yourself, can you guys write this down? Belief is also a muscle that can be trained. Belief is also a muscle that can be trained. Let's say like Oprah. We all know Oprah had a really tough background when she was growing up. She got molested by her uncle. A lot of trauma when she was really young. But she has incredible belief in herself, right? Like incredible belief in herself, and it's built. And she talks about this, right? So same thing with you guys. And I want you guys in my program to also not just elevate with your fitness, but also instill that self-confidence, that self-belief in yourself, right? And how you do this is you have to give yourself affirmations. You have to give yourself positive reinforcement every single day. And I truly mean that. Writing in your journal. And this is kind of like the woo-woo stuff, right? But I'm going to mention it right now. Like writing your journal. If you stop doing it, get back to it, right? Like these are like the inputs, the daily inputs that reinforces your belief muscle, your mental muscle. Okay, so like journaling, meditation, like breath work, these are all super important. So if you stop doing morning routines, get back to it. It's super important. I had clients that would do phenomenal in the program, but believed they would fall track before it happened. It's almost like that self-fulfilling prophecy. We believe something's going to happen, and it happens because that's all our attention. That's all our focus. Wherever focus goes, energy flows, right? But after this training, I want you guys to feel super confident that, hey, I'm going to make it different this year. I'm going to challenge myself to think differently because you change when your thoughts start changing. Okay, so these old habits, get them regaining weight, restarting in January, and the cycle continues year after year. Remember, the goal here is not just to have you guys, lose weight, and then, I have you guys as a testimonial, and then afterwards, you guys, kind of reset. I don't want that. I want you guys to actually, learn from me and have it change your life. And that's going to come with the education, with everything I'm talking about today. Okay. And for the new people that came in, thanks for coming in. Let me know how you guys are doing. All right, mistake number 2. Let's go into the tactical side, okay? Because, motivation and all this is good, but at the end of the day, we need to actually know our numbers, okay? We got to be calculative. We got to use data. It's the most important thing. Everybody should know what calories are, okay? And I'm going to mention this as mistake number 2. So this is my mistake. And you guys might be making the same one. So really, really pay attention. If you guys are on your phone, you're on TikTok, get off your phone right now. If you guys are surfing on something or doing something else, like really start paying attention because you can be there, but you may not actually be fully there in the training. I want you guys to absorb everything I'm mentioning, okay? And I know some people in here, when I said that, you guys probably know that was you, okay? So eating, do not make this mistake. Listen carefully. Do your days around the holidays when you're going out, you're going to like an amusement park, you're going to have like a holiday gathering at nighttime, you're going to a potluck, whatever it is, okay? The mistake is you need to change your meal sizing and how frequently you're eating before that. I'll say it again. On those outings, you're not eating the same as before. And this is the whole premise of flexible dieting. Like flexible dieting is supposed to be dynamic, right? Because when you think about rigid dieting, it's like you can't even go out. It's not even an option, right? It's like you got to stick with XYZ and it's got to be super rigid. But flexible dieting is dynamic. But that means that your meals that leads up to that has to be, smaller in size. And we're going to talk about all this. So eating the same leading up to the bigger meals is guaranteed going to have you spill over. Now, what is a spillover? A spillover simply means you overate. You had too much calories. Okay. And remember, the only way your body can put on body fat is eating in excess of calories, whether that be from carbs, fats, or even protein. Yes, if you overconsume so much protein, and everyone knows by now that protein is really important, right? But if you go way too high, right? Either like your carbs and fats is the right amount, but you go way too high in protein, more than you need, and if you go over your maintenance, you're still going to put on body fat. Okay, so an excess of calories is what leads to body fat gain. Okay, everything making sense so far, right? So let's go into some examples here. So you guys seen this before. I shared this with you guys. So this term is called calorie cycling, and you guys need to use this tool throughout the holidays, or whenever you're gonna have like social events or anything with excess calories. So you see over here, like meal 1 and meal 2, salad and protein shake. And each of these meals probably accounts like a protein shake. You have 1.5 scoops. That's like less than 180 calories. A salad, barely any calories. Just make sure, very low calorie sauce or no sauce at all. You pretty much have each meal being less than 200 calories, right? 200 calories, 200 calories. Let's just say 400, 450 or so. But then our protein ranges anywhere from 50 to 70 grams. For a lot of you guys here, that's already half your intake. So imagine that Adriana, right? Imagine her calories was, 1,600 calories. So she consumed 400 calories, right? So 1,600 minus 400, what is that? 1,200, right? So she has 1,200 calories remaining. And let's just say Adriana, her target is even 140. Let's just say she consumes 60 grams of protein already. She's just about at 50% at her protein intake, and she has 1,200 calories to play with at the end of the night. You see, like that's all it is when it comes to the calorie cycling side of things, and that's flexible dieting. Okay, so let me know. Give me a yes in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up, a yes or thumbs up if this is making sense so far. I know this is like a refresher for a lot of people, but if you don't know, perfect. This is going to be an amazing tool for you. Okay. Understanding that calories at the end of the day is the most important. Your total calories and your total macros is the most important, and it being averaged out in the entire week over a long period of time, over months and years. And that's how you're going to see the success of your transformation. Okay. So let me know if this is making sense so far. So does that give you guys, like, for the people that didn't know this, let me know in the comment section, like, is this encouraging to know that this can actually be a possibility? Is this encouraging to know that this can be a possibility? Welcome, guys. Guys, on mute. So this is encouraging, right? And a lot of people here are newer on the team, and you probably came from like keto or like some diets that are really rigid, and it was definitely a big no to be doing something like this, right? But I want you to know that the main, like, how we lose weight, it really is putting us in a caloric deficit. And there's so many ways to skin the cat here, right? There's so many ways. Like, I was speaking with somebody and she was telling me like she's going to be on her weight loss journey and she's going to start 75 hard. And she was asking me if it works. I'm like, everything works, but there's so many different ways to skin a cat. There's definitely, though, better ways and easier ways. And there's definitely more demanding and more difficult ways. And it's really up to you what you want to choose. Okay. I mean, to add on 75 hard there is such thing as too much, right? Like, if you're working out every single day, twice a day, there is such thing as too much as well. Anyways, okay. I'm going to show you guys over here. I'm going to show you more examples. Okay. So this is a very blurry screenshot of my calories. And this is a training I made inside the group actually a couple weeks ago, but I know some of you guys may not be able to see it, but I want to go over the summary of it. So I went over, for example, I know I talked about calorie cycling and I'm talking about it right now, but I want to really have you guys fully absorb and understand what I mean here and put it into actual like practice, because it's easy to just tell you guys what to do, but I want to show you how I do it. So for an example, this is, let's just say, a typical day of eating for me. If I'm eating pretty good, I'm staying at home, you guys see my air fried chicken and I tell you guys to do the same thing and I share my spice with you guys. I like it. I actually genuinely enjoy it. Right. And this is usually what I'll eat before dinner, for example. This is a couple weeks ago, and this is like the calories and everything. And let's just say this is all the meals up to dinner. You guys can see down here, right? We have 1,400 calories. We have about 113 grams of protein, right? This is what I typically, now listen carefully. This is what I typically eat, but Cass, Ada, everyone else, if I'm going to go out and let's just say I'm going to go to a potluck, let's just say I'm going to my partner's, recently I have been going to more like of her, seeing her family and stuff, and there's a lot of potlucks, right? I would not be doing this. I would not be doing this if I'm leading up to the potluck. Does that make sense? The food is clean, right? And keep in mind, guys, like, just because you eat salad and chicken and rice and stuff doesn't mean that you're going to lose weight. This is why you have to understand about calories and macros, right? Write that down. Calories and macros is the most important thing. I want to keep it simple, but I want to keep it precise as well. Calories and macros is the most important thing, right? There's not one food that makes you lose weight. There's not one food that makes you gain weight. So, traditional dieters that don't have as much knowledge, they're like, yo, I got to eat a lot of salad. I got to eat a lot of salad. I got to keep it really clean. If I'm eating clean, I'm guaranteed to lose weight. That doesn't mean anything. Or if they're like, oh, if I eat a burger, I'm immediately going to get derailed in my progress. That's not true. We can't look at food like that, because if we look at food like that, that also demonizes food, and we start having that avoidance. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have had that, or hopefully you're still, you recover from that. But, realistically, some of you guys may still have that, way of thinking a little bit. Having some foods we're trying to avoid, we feel guilty for eating it, right? There's no such thing as having a food that's bad nor good. Okay. But obviously, if you always choose shitty foods, right, that's going to be high in fats and carbs, you can't really build a framework on that. It's just not good macros in general. But anyways, this is what I typically eat. Let me let some people in here. Okay. On the left side, what I did is, imagine that was a day I went out with my partner. And this is what I did do. That was the actual day of eating. I taper things. Do you see what I did there? Do you see how it was 973 calories? So my typical day of eating is here. And you see what I did here? Do you notice? I noticed some things I'm going to bring up. You guys take notes on your phone and take notes on your, notebook or whatever. Do you see how the protein is the same? But what I did But do you see what I did here? What I did is the carbs and fats is lower. Do you see that? Right? So like if you're newer to this, you're new on the team, I really want to make it simple. Feel free to ask questions. I could explain it a little easier, more simply, right? But you guys can hit that emoji. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense so far. You see what I did there? I had less carbs and fats. So I'll go into detail. My oats, this is 35 grams of oats. I had 20 grams of oats. Look at my rice over here. Usually I would have I put everything in breakfast. Like people like there's a lot of people in here that's doing the same thing. Cass, I know you're doing the same thing. It's what I like to do. It's a lot quicker and faster, right? When tracking calories. But you see, like on my typical day of eating 300 grams of carbs, right? Over 2 meals. It'll be like post workout, whatever, right? Here, you see my carbs is like in half, less than half. Do you see that? But then I keep my fruits high because it's so little calories and I enjoy blueberries and fruits, right? But do you see what I did there? I purposely had less carbs and fats. And do you notice that this day didn't have protein powder, but I leverage protein powder because protein powder, write this down. Protein powder is it's a good food to have on days you're going to go out because it's very low in calories, but it's very high in protein. Okay. It's very low in calories, but it's very high in protein. Okay. Now let's go into an ideal day of eating. If I really did amazing on that day, like I did not bad, right? You see, my calories, I have about 1,000 left and I have to get about 60, 70 grams of protein. Like 1,000 for me is still a good, comfortable amount of food. I get pretty full from that, right? But an ideal day would look like on the right side. You see over here, same amount of oats, 20 grams as the left side. I have a little less rice, okay? And I actually gone to egg whites, right? And you see protein powder, right? So like I'm saving on like the calories from having like egg whites, protein powder. You see egg whites. So write this down, guys. Like these are all the nuggets I'm sharing with you guys. If you really want to save on calories, and it doesn't have to taste gross, guys. Like egg whites are not. It's kind of bland, but it's not that you're not having it every day. I'm not telling you have it every day, right? But if you get nature eggs, egg whites, have one egg and have like, a cup of egg whites. It's not that bad, right? Scramble it, right? Put a little salt, pepper. It's not that bad, right? But if you're going to have that, you're going to have protein powder, like egg whites, protein powder, right? And obviously good old chicken. Like those are like the main sources you want to lean into when you're going to have your meals out. You see, I don't have anything like lamb. I don't have anything like beef. Just keep it nice and lean. Keep it low calories, high protein. Okay, a little bit of oats. You see, I'm still eating rice, just not that much. Okay, and then blueberries. So most people in here, you can write this down. If you guys should all have a food scale right now. You guys should not be eating over, I would say, at the very most, you shouldn't be eating more than 150 grams of rice. There's really no need for anybody to have any meals with more than 150 grams of rice. If you're weighing your food and you see you're getting over 200 grams of rice, that's too much in one sitting. Okay. So keep it under 150. It should be anywhere from 150, 100, 150. Okay. So any questions so far? Protein powder is the ultimate pregame food. Exactly. Very good. Okay, guys, we're almost halfway there. Okay, mistake number 3. And let me know if you guys have any questions as well. Who here is guilty of this? I'm not saying you can't have any, but you're having too much of this. Liquid calories are the sneaky ones. We're talking about sauces. We're talking about jams. We're talking about soups. We're talking about sweet drinks. They're using too much of your calories. Remember, you have a limit with whatever it gave you, and it's obviously subject to change, right? But in the meantime, you got to try to stay within that, right? And this weight gain is exacerbated with the increased sodium as well, because soups. I always say to everybody, try your best to avoid soups. Soups are just one of the worst foods macro wise. Is one of the worst foods macro wise. Why? Most of the time, you're not going to have that much protein, if any. It's literally just carbs, fats, a lot of sodium, and calories, right? So, for example, you can have a pumpkin soup. A pumpkin soup that's like a couple cups, and that's what we usually eat during the season, right? It'll have like 2 grams of protein. It can easily have 300, 400 calories and like 30, 40, 50 grams of carbs and like 10 grams of fats, depending how much fats they're using. They use butter and stuff. It's really shitty calories and macros, if I have to be honest. Right. And I'm not saying that you can never have it, but you got to have it in moderation. And if you can, and if you're not big on soups, just cut it out. Because let's be honest here, when we eat out, ladies, a lot of times, when you get a set meal, it's usually like, they give you bread, they give you soup, and then they have the main course, right? And you just kind of eat the soup because you don't want to waste it, right? But like, if you're kind of thinking like that, you might as well just not have it because it's not something you like that much and it's just excess calories. So who here feels a little guilty or feels like, or not guilty, maybe you're just not informed, right? Who here it feels like this is something that they can definitely work on? Give me a thumbs up, right? Let me know. Is this something you feel like you can work on? Like the liquid calories, sauces, jams, soups. Jams are high in sugar. Sugar has 4 calories per gram, which is why it can add up. Okay. Sweet drinks. Who here? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section if this is something you feel like you can improve on. Okay. You guys are getting quieter. Give me a thumbs up, Lauren. Yes. Oops. And remember, it's all about just taking, you guys don't have to do everything I tell you to do on this call today, right? Don't overwhelm yourself, but even if you just took one thing, two things, and implemented it, that will make a big difference. So do take some notes on your phone. Be like, that's actually Adrian speaking to me. I'm going to write that down on my phone right now. Give myself that reminder. You will see that difference for sure. Okay. I love soups that definitely improve on it. Soups, there's definitely great tasting soups, right? Like I'm not opposed to it. There are some that I do like a lot, right? But it could definitely be sneaky calories. You want to definitely keep it in moderation. Janice, when I was reverse ending, liquid calories made it easier to hit my goals and more enjoyable. So it's a double-edged sword. If we're trying to get enough calories, liquid calories can help us, right? If we put protein in it and make stews, it can be something that can be helpful. So stews are definitely better than just soups. If you're thinking about a soup that's just like from the can, like a tomato soup or pumpkin soup, that's definitely not as good macros compared to like a homemade stew that has protein in there, of course. So it can work both ways. So take a look over here. Check this out here. I did a little comparison. So write this down. If you guys were to get any sauce, I highly recommend J. Hughes. J. Hughes is very popular, especially in the fitness space because of its really good macros and its taste as well. And they have many different flavors as well. I don't know if you guys ever heard of J. Hughes or have been using it, but I do highly recommend it, right? 2 tablespoons. That's more than enough. Okay, in one serving. You got 10 calories, right? And sauce is pretty much sodium, so you're gonna have some for sure. But 200 milligrams is very reasonable. It's very reasonable. Okay. I went a little bit more in detail, right? 450, 16-ounce bottle. Okay. Now let's take a look over here. This is another sauce. This is Brooks Original Barbecue Sauce. Okay, we got 100 calories, and mind you, 100 is actually not considered high. There's some sauces that are even higher. 660 milligrams of sodium. That's 30% of your daily intake, given your intake's about 2,000 milligrams. And here's the thing that sucks even more. It's even more expensive. Yes, it's a bigger bottle, but you're paying more than like 3 times the price. Okay, so you guys want to shop health wise, you want to shop with health in mind first, but you also want to shop for, costs in mind as well. Sometimes if you get something that's worse macros, you're paying more for it too. So you're paying it for the health, you're paying it in terms of the dollars as well. So be aware of these things. Now, this is very simple. What I did, and you guys are going to start doing the same thing, is when you grocery shop, just start looking at the back end of the nutrition label. It won't take you long. Just look at two things. Write this down. Look at well, there's more than two things, but what I think are the two most important things is your calories and protein. Okay, your calories and protein. Why? Because why not carbs and fats? Because if your calories is low and your protein's not bad, you can't the carbs and fats won't be very high anyways, because your carbs, fats, and protein, they make up your calories. Did you know that? There's 4 calories per gram of carb, there's 4 calories per gram of protein, there's 9 calories per gram of fats. So if you had something that has like 20 grams of fats, there's no way it could be 100 calories. It's going to be at least 180. Does that make sense? Right? And then I'm going to look at like the sodium and then like all the other things. Okay, cholesterol. But I will say this: if something is not bad macro wise, it's not going to be very poor in sodium. It's not going to be very high in sodium. It's not going to be very poor in cholesterol. Usually, the foods that have high calories, high fats, high carbs, high fats, they're going to be coming with high cholesterol. Okay, and all the other not good variables over here. Okay. You guys can also see on the right side, like you guys can see the ingredients there, right? You can see a lot of ingredients. Another thing, keep in mind, can you guys write this down in the comment section, write it in your notes? Whenever you're buying anything, this is so, common sense, but a lot of times we overlook it, right? Keep the ingredient list as short as possible. Okay. Keep the ingredient list as short as possible. If there's a lot of things you cannot read, nor I can read, you probably don't want to purchase it. Keep it as short as possible. Write that down. Keep the ingredient list as short as possible. If you guys are buying supplements, I pretty much explain how you guys are going to look for supplements as well. Calories, protein, look at ingredient list. It's not going to have like sodium and protein powder, right? Or like cholesterol, but like calories, protein, ingredients. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, Nikki, liquid calories is the one thing, but drinks like party drinks can be dangerous, 100%. Liquid protein is one thing, but my sneaky calories is finding stuff from outside has a lot of macros versus making the same as home. Yeah, like when we make it at home, we actually know what's going in there. But even if we do get things from outside, guys, by the way, if you guys haven't, go on my Instagram, you see the highlights? Yeah, I see the highlights, right? Go to my work of art highlights if you haven't binge watched it, because there's a lot of food swaps that I put in there. Since I started this program, my grocery shopping list have been longer because I'm looking at labels. That's good. That's a good thing. You're spending more time. You're walking in the grocery store. Okay, you're more conscious of things. I'm happy to hear. Okay, let's go to mistake number 4. It's stuffing yourself. Who here feels like this is dumb? Who here feels like they can eat a lot of calories in one sitting? I definitely can. I have a relatively bigger appetite, and I definitely can. Right? It's like I said, this I'm going to be transparent. I'm not here to say I don't make mistakes. I don't spill over. Once again, the whole point of this is to talk about being dynamic, but it's also to show you guys it's not supposed to be perfect. And we're going to go into a little bit more mind stuff in a bit, right? I still struggle with it. I went to my first Maple Leafs game. I spilled over that day more than I wanted, right? But the thing is, as long as it's unintentional and it doesn't happen often, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Okay. Like I said, this is the one I struggle more with, especially when alcohol is involved. Okay. But what I found helps me limit this spillover is this. Listen carefully. Take a picture of this. Track beforehand. Track beforehand. I'm telling you, like, this thing helps me a lot. When I track, like yesterday, I took the plane out. I went out with my partner to eat. We went to a Vietnamese restaurant. If I didn't track that, I know I would have overspilled because I'm playing a guessing game right now. And it's almost kind of like, oh, if I forget about it, I can kind of leave it, that kind of mentality, It's like, it's easy to have the mentality where it's like, oh, it's too much work, or, I'll do it some other. Stay on top of things. You'll feel more accomplished. And it's such a great feeling to feel accomplished. You can enjoy your meal. You can enjoy it. And you know that the best feeling, guys, is like when you are enjoying your meal and you're also staying on top of your stuff, or you're barely spilling over. So anyways, 3 things, tracking beforehand. Number 2 is limit alcohol consumption, obviously. And most of you guys shouldn't be drinking too much, right? And number 3, I think this is one that's important as well. Notifying people around you that you want to stay on track, because sometimes there's, people around that want you to have a good time, and, having a good time means like consuming more food, or like, have a little bit more drinks. But if you mention you're on, you're on your journey, and, you want to improve your health and fitness, they're going to understand, and they may even encourage you. Okay. So having the right accountability is very important. I think mentioning it to the people around you is very key. Okay. Any questions, any comments so far? I'm about to get called out again. Okay. Moving along. Number 5, under consuming water. I made a training on this. You guys see in the VIP group, there was, the subsequent weeks leading up to this, I was kind of giving some topics individually on each, on one of these or 2 of these. One of this was under consuming water. Water is the best tool to achieve homeostasis with the body. What that means is keeping balance, right? Your body wants to keep in balance, right? Keeping balance of fluids, which leads, water is so important for your muscles. 70% of your muscles is made up of water, and ultimately your body composition. Your body composition is your muscle, your fat, your bones, but it's also your water retention. I could be having the same muscle, the same fat mass, but if my water changes, I could drastically look different, actually, depending how much water I'm holding, how much sodium is in my body. Okay. So a big mistake is under consuming water. I personally drink more water knowing, write this down, guys. This is the tip. This is the tactical strategy. On the day I'm gonna go out, drink and chug that water. Start drinking more. This is so funny. You know, us as human beings, sometimes we on the days that we have outings and stuff, we actually start to kind of loosen up things. Let me know if this is kind of sounds like you, right? You know, you're excited to go out, you have that event, but you kind of forget about eating healthy. You kind of forget about drinking your water. And then that night you have alcohol and stuff, you know, and it right. So if I know I have something coming up, I'm gonna do more to get ahead. So I minimize the damage. Does that make sense? Right? I minimize the damage. Right? Get that water in your body. Drink more water. Now, how much? I mentioned aim for 1.5 times. You can do it. Start drinking. It's just water. Right? Your goals are more important than anything. Right? So keep your body healthy. Drink that water. Water helps you everything. When you're dehydrated, it helps you. When you had alcohol the next day, you're hungover. Water's gonna help you. Okay. So 1.5 times the amount of water. Okay. Water. It's super important. Water is super, super important. A little quick tip, if you guys are dehydrated, you went out to drink during the holidays, and you're feeling a little hungover. Obviously, I don't want you to drink that much, right? But sometimes maybe if you can't drink that much, or right, you had a little bit more than expected, you want electrolytes, okay, to replenish um lost fluids, okay, and just to kind of quicken up the process of balancing your fluid. So electrolytes, Gatorade, Powerade, you don't need to drink a lot, okay? You're just going to drink, a couple cups, a small bottle is good enough. Coconut water is really good as well, okay? BioSteel's electrolyte drink is good too. Just make sure there's not too much sugar. If you guys get Gatorade or Powerade, just make sure, it's very minimal sugar. You're drinking it because you want the electrolytes in there. Okay, coconut water is my favorite. Get coconut water. Get one that has low sugar because it has its natural electrolytes. Okay, that's if you're very dehydrated. Okay. Okay, moving along here. This is another mistake I made. Okay, before I went through phases. I used to in the beginning, like every young gym bro, right? In my high school days, I used to always think supplements was the holy grail. And then I went to the phase over the last. It was actually like the last couple years leading up to prep. I'm like, I'm gonna be that coach that doesn't push supplements because you can get amazing results without it, right? But ever since I did prep and I leveled up with my fitness, I'm like, okay, like supplements can definitely help because Adam, he was my coach. Like he was really big on it. I'm surprised he was that big into it. And it kind of like rubbed off onto me a little bit. And I do have to say it attributed to my success as well. I mentioned this on the training anyways. Not having a blood sugar regulator is something that I feel like is a missing tool to really optimize your health, guys. And if you guys didn't hear about this, you should start taking pictures and taking note. This is going to be a good tool in your toolbox for sure. If you don't have it, you definitely should. If blood sugar levels, maybe you're a little hyperglycemic right now, or you're trying to bring it down, this should definitely be something you should have in your tools. Okay. Now, obviously, calories is the main determinant. I know people that would just eat a crap ton of calories and they're taking berberine. That shit won't work like that. Okay. But if you got a good system when it comes to your calories and macros, Adriana, right? If you have that and you also have your blood sugar levels regulated, you're going to be in a really good position to lose weight. Okay. You can also do this, guys. You guys can also be eating the right calories and macros, but if you're always kind of like having your blood sugar levels oscillate, you're also not positioning yourself the best to lose weight. Because when your blood sugar levels are always elevated, it's telling your body to store body fat. Excess glucose in your body gets deposited as body fat. Okay. And it makes your insulin, it makes your body less sensitive to insulin. So that's how people become insulin insensitive, right? And that leads you putting on body fat. Okay, so calories is the main thing. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to start taking all this and it's going to help. Well, get your calories and macros in check first. That's number one. Number two, let's add to the layer. Let's build the house nice and high, but the foundation needs to be strong. Okay. I personally ziplock my GDAs with me every single time I go out or have family gatherings. Super simple. Just check this out over here. Take a picture of this. I put down the pricing for you guys. There's no reason why you guys can't go to Walmart literally tonight and just literally get what I told you. If you guys are like saying, Adrian, oh, it's too much work. I don't know what to buy, but take a picture over here. Everything's here. There's no reason why you can't get what I told you to get. I put down the dosage. I put everything you need to be doing. Okay, Magnum, you would just get it in Popeye supplements if you guys have it, or you can get it on Amazon. Keep it simple. Just get one of these. Okay, take it before you eat, especially your high carb meals. You have your dinners coming up for the holidays, take it beforehand. Okay, so any questions here? All of these have been shown by studies, not just by Adrian Leung, that it lowers your blood sugar levels. Okay, so there's numerous studies that show berberine, turmeric, and the ingredients inside the GDA. GDAs is pretty much the main ingredient is berberine, but it has other things in there like cinnamon. Even cinnamon has been shown by studies that it can help lower blood sugar levels, that it can mimic insulin as well. Okay, so any questions here? Okay, moving along. Almost finished. So number 7 is not front loading protein. Meals in the morning and lunch have to be low in carbs. They have to be low in fats and they have to be high in protein. There is no other choice. I'll say it one more time. And I showed it with my examples of my calories earlier. Meals in the morning and lunch have to be low in carbs. They have to be low in fats and they have to be high in protein. There is no other choice. I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. Like I've been a coach. I got my personal training cert for about 5-6 years, right? Like I've tried everything, right? I try to make things work, but I know what works the best, right? And there's no other way. You just have to cycle your calories. This is the most flexible way. It's the way where you don't have to restrict yourself with foods, right? There's no other way. Spilling, the worst thing, like I said over here, is spilling over in calories, which is too much carbs and fats, and not even hitting your target protein. That is a recipe to putting on body fat. That is a recipe for putting on body fat. Okay? Like, and it can be insidious too. If you're eating a little bit more carbs and fats, maybe your activity dropped and you're never hitting your protein target, over time, you're definitely going to put on body fat. Okay, keep your protein high. Your protein helps your metabolism, helps you burn fat. Some ideas here. Take a picture. Oikos, I didn't even know they had a high protein Greek yogurt. I've been always eating Liberté until I found it actually at No Frills. Okay, so I've been sticking with that. Oikos high protein Greek yogurt. You guys already know I'm big on berries. You guys should copy what I eat, honestly. Like as long as you're not opposed to my foods I like, just copy what your coach does. That's the smartest way because success leaves clues, right? My mentor would always say success leaves clues. Don't just listen to what I do, watch what I do. Heidi, I see you. You copy a lot of my stuff I eat. She's smart, right? Just copy what I do because it's proven to work already, right? So copy what I do. Like Oikos high protein Greek yogurt. I'm big on blueberries, antioxidants, low calories, tastes really good. You put it in a lot of things. You make smoothies with it. Low calorie fruits, a bit of oatmeal, all these things. Copy what I do. Copy what I do. Okay, so not front loading protein is really important. You have to have low carbs, low fats, high protein first thing to start the day. Number 8, we're about to finish up here, guys. Okay, adding no color to your plate. I want to mention this. Who here knows what it's like when you're at, I know this is a little bit TMI, but it's funny. You're at a family gathering and stuff, but you're kind of trying to hold in your fart. You're kind of gassy, right? Let's be honest here. We all know that, you're holding in, you're gassy, you're holding in your farts, right? You're eating and it's like the food's great, but like you're super gassy. Your food has no color. Okay. Your plate has no color. It's literally, maybe there's a decent amount of protein, which is good, right? But you have carbs, no, and you're like, shit, like, you're feeling gassy, you're feeling bloated. We all know that. Let's be honest here, right? Okay. So the reason is because there's not enough fiber. Okay, fiber helps your digestion. Okay, so you need fiber. Greens have fiber. Okay, brown rice has fiber, but mainly greens, leafy greens, fruits, and stuff like that. So when you guys are at your outings and stuff, now I know a lot of you may not like veggies and stuff, but put some color on your plate, please. Right? It's just your stomach's gonna help you. You're gonna feel better. Okay, it's never good to have foods you like and then you don't feel well with your digestion. Okay, lack of micronutrients as well. B vitamins. There's 8 B vitamins. Okay, they help with your digestion. They help, especially when you're having heavier oils, carbs. Even when you have a little bit more protein, it is a little harder to digest, especially proteins with more fats. It's a little bit more challenging for your stomach to digest. So, have more greens. Keep it simple. Greens. Okay. Greens because there's going to be fiber in there. Okay, finishing up here. We're going to go into the mindset part. Mistake number 9. This is so common. Okay, so I went over a lot of tactical strategies. This is on replay as well. I'm also going to put up the slides in the group as well. Mistake number 9 is letting that temporary weight gain set you off track. Letting that temporary weight gain set you off track. There is no way you are going to stay within perfect range all the time. You guys should get this from the beginning of this call. The whole point of flexible dieting is so you don't have to stick to a rigid system. You don't have to be, oh, sorry guys, I can't eat out, or like, it's super rigid. You're going to be able to have flexibility, right? And because of that, it's okay that, you know, not often, but there's going to be times where there's a little bit of weight gain. And it's not actual fat gain. I'll explain, right? You're going to be putting on a little bit of weight, mainly from the extra water weight, the extra sodium, the extra and undigested food. Understand your weight fluctuates, and your weight and the weight gain is not immediately fat. Nor, this is very important, it doesn't mean your progress is derailed. Nor does it mean your progress is derailed. And this is the mindset part. This is like the education part, and this is also the mentality part, right? A lot of times, and I'm sure this may have happened to you, many people in here, you gain weight, you see something huge on the scale come up. We're talking 5 pounds. We're talking like, I hear 10 pounds, and you're like, holy shit, like this meal got me fucked up, you know, right? And you're stressing out, you're freaking out, and you feel like that, you start to reconsider everything. You're like, I'm in Adrian's program, but I don't even know if this is gonna. You start to doubt yourself. You gotta take it easy. It's all good, and you have my confidence in me saying this. Okay, obviously, don't have this all the time because that's not good. It can catch up to you, right? But here, let me help you guys in. Let me give you guys a little bit of like example. Take me for an example, okay? So because I'm in my journey too, okay? I'm trying to stay within 5 pounds of my stage weight. That's my goal, immediate goal right now. Okay, I will start to look to try to gain weight actually in the next future months, but in the meantime, that's my goal. Anyways, I gained 4 pounds one of these last 2 weekends. Overspill that happened. Now, take a picture, write this down. Like I said, if you missed this, I do say that on weekends or like holidays, it's okay to give yourself a little bit of extra 20-25% calories. If Jan is eating 2,000 calories, it's okay if she eats 24 on that day. That's fine. I recommend her eating a little less on the days beforehand. Just 1 or 2 days before works, right? And or 1 or 2 days afterwards if you spilled over. But the best is prevention. Okay. Anyways, but a rare unintentional spillover is not the end of the world. I gained 4 pounds and I lost it all in 2 days. I'll say it again. I gained 4 pounds and I lost it all in 2 days. There was not one bit of concern for me because I know that majority of the weight is extra calories, undigested food, sitting in my stomach, extra sodium that my cells are absorbing. It will take more than a day sometimes to get rid of water weight. It may take you even several days plus, depending how much sodium you took. You'll be surprised how much sodium that you may be consuming outside. It could be over 5,000 milligrams easily. Especially if you're not drinking that much water, you're trying to work up your water, it will take longer for you to get rid of that water weight. Okay. So that could reflect on your next weigh-in, which is why all this is very important to mention. Now, how? Take a picture. I didn't do anything. I didn't take any, water pills or any of that. There's no need. Okay. I go back to my cleaner eating. Okay. So try to keep it a little cleaner. Write this down. I have a 2-to-1. No, I have a 3-to-1, 4-to-1 ratio. What that means is for every one day I eat out, the next 3 days I want to keep it cleaner, okay? Or like 4-to-1. If I have especially more food on the day, I kind of spill over. The next 4 days, Adrian, we're gonna keep it clean. Have that kind of mentality, okay? Back to cleaner eating. A bit less calories the next 2 days if I spilled over. 150, 200 calories less, but I still hit my protein. 1.5 times water, good sleep, good exercise. That's it. That's it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. How many drinks would you say is the best? Not gonna lie, I'm definitely drinking on Chris. Um, I'm not. If I say one drink, I know you guys are not gonna do one drink. So I would say 2 drinks or so. You know, 2, 3 drinks at most. Like I would say calorie wise, you shouldn't be having more than like 300 calories, 350 calories worth of drinks. Okay, so like 3 drinks or so. Keeping a limit. I think when it comes to alcohol, it's very easy to spill over and stuff. So just keeping it keep it in moderation, 3 drinks or so at most. At most. Okay, like 3 shots, something like that. When you start feeling a little tipsy, that's it. Just stop because any more than that is just when you're getting intoxicated, it's just you're getting dehydrated. And just putting a lot of stress on the liver as well. Okay, good questions. Mistake number 10. This is the last one. This was me as well. On the flip side, this happened. Fitness and health is important, but family and friends are as well. I've had times where I went to restaurants or gatherings, not eating at all. And this wasn't even me in prep. This is me years ago, like super serious about fitness, which is great, right? But like I was a guy at like my dinners, like family gatherings, like important ones, you know? And I would say, I can't, I'm cutting. I'll be there. I'll show up with my aunts and my uncles, but I can't eat, you know? But don't be like that. Don't be selfish and don't be a party pooper. And there's no need for that. I like my conditioning is better than before, right? My strategy is better than before, and I have balance and I enjoy my life now, right? It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that, right? So don't be selfish. Don't be a party pooper. There's many ways to balance and still be on track. And I showed you guys essentially everything today. Okay, so as we finish up here, because I got to run, guys. If you guys found value in this, take out your phone. I know you guys have your phone. Take a picture of me and put this on your Instagram because this is part of, the 21-day sprint. If you guys are still in it, remember you have a chance to win your AirPods. So take a picture. Okay. Take a picture and put me on Instagram. Put a video up. Do a boomerang right now and put this up. Let's have some fun. Okay. Put this on your socials. This counts as your 21-day sprint. Okay. Take a picture, take a video, tag me. Okay. And happy holidays to all you guys in here. Before I let you guys go, there's one last thing I'm going to say. Okay. So happy holidays to my Meraki family. Okay. This is funny. Okay. One last thing to keep you guys here. Okay. We're also doing a referral program at the end of this year as well. So we always like to do this. We will obviously want to help more people, and we also want to incentivize you for it as well. We have an upcoming challenge. Okay. If you mention about the challenge, you guys will see the post on my Instagram. You can tag them, you can share it with them, you can mention it to them, right? If you get just one person signing up, we will send you $50 worth of protein treats. If you mention about my program, the VIP program, we're going to send you a personal supplement to your door. Like I sent one to Heidi, right? I've been sending it over like the last month. So if you guys didn't do this, it's obviously very helpful, and I am very grateful, and it does help me a lot. Just let you guys know, if you guys do mention about like the challenge, mention about me. Okay. And we want to make sure we gift you guys as well for the holidays. Okay. Besides from that, we're going to answer the last few messages. Does anyone have any questions here? Lauren said, there tends to be a lot of sugar and alcoholic drinks too. Yeah. Like, to be honest, like if you're going to have a drink that has a higher alcohol content, but like much less calories versus one that's like a Shirley Temple and tons of sugar, choose the one with slightly higher alcohol. Because it's what makes you gain weight. Is what the calories is the dangerous thing. That's what makes you gain weight. Calories, calories, calories. And even if you get something slightly higher alcohol, they're not going to give you that much alcohol. They're going to give you a couple percentage more. All right. If you found value in this, drop a fire emoji, drop a comment, drop anything. Okay. Tag me on Instagram. But besides from that, I got to run, guys. Okay. Next Thursday, mark your calendar. We're going to do a vision board training and a goal setting training for Thursday. It's going to be something like this. It's going to be fun. Do make sure you make it. If you got any value in any way, let me know. Let me know about the referral program as well. We're running it too next week. Besides from that, I appreciate you guys all and have a great holiday. Okay. Take care, guys.